with your catalogue. Owned by Pauline and Kevin Thomas and the Langbecker family. Nominated by Greg and Jenny and Tom McDermott and ridden by Tom McDermott. One of our most successful junior riders. He has continued that on well into his 20s now. And Tom McDermott has become a legend of the sport. Well, the horn stance, first rider out, Tom McDermott. He is riding Alpha Activity. We've had a little role reversal from the first week. Megan Scrivener was our judge and Tim Danzy was our timekeeper this week, switching roles. Tim Danzy hops into the hot seat and we are one round against the clock. So Tom McDermott, you could see, jumped the second fence, looked for an inside turn to fence number 3. He is not mucking around here, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely back to the triple bar. He's showing us where he needs to go. Tom McDermott rolls on down to the vertical. 3 fences, 4 efforts. Left to go. Turns back to the big tall Oxer. Now down to the combination. Rail down, carrying the 4 jumping penalties, comes down to the final fence, safely over the last. 59.48, 59.48, and 4 for Tom McDermott, so that one fence needs building. Needs the 4 jumping penalties. Well, we now welcome out from Murray Bateman in New South Wales, Stephen Dingwall. Finished 6th place at the Dressage Jumping with the Stars World Cup qualifier. He rides Cavalier Duraway and Memphis, as he's known around the stables, nominated by Stephen and Nikki Dingwall and ridden by Stephen. Stephen runs Cavalier Performance horses. So we saw the course. We know where we need to go. Now, it's a table A, 1 round, so we will use time, penalties over time. So if Stephen Dingwall jumps clear, under the time allowed of 74 seconds, he'll be ahead of Tom McDermott. Rail down, he needs to be quicker than 59.48. This is the first time for 2021 these horses make their way out into the arena. Show jumping, although we introduced our judge, Mr. Tim Danzy, he holds a pressured job, but in fact, every person here in the grandstands can be the judge today, keeping an eye on the course. If they knock a rail, whether they knock 1 rail or the entire jump, they get 4 jumping penalties. So it's very black and white, which is probably why I got attracted to show jumping all those years ago. There's no judge's discretion. Right or wrong. Stephen Dingwall, all clear at this stage. 2 fences left to go. Comes down to the final fence. He's all clear at this stage. Time will be right. Sydney, put your hands together. Clear round. 67.28, 67.28. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and all clear. Olympian now makes his way out into the arena. Russell Johnson rides the McCann family partnership. DePriest, Russell Johnson, Mr. Show jumping from Victoria, based at Whittlesea. And long-time supporter. Won the World Cup qualifier here in 2015 on Borelius Centurion. He has been a long-time competitor. puts his hand up, salutes to the judge. He's had the bell ready to go. Okay, so the time to beat, 67.28. We know that can be beaten because Tom McDermott was some 8 seconds quicker than Stephen Dingwall. But Stephen's got the clear round on the board. He's set the benchmark. Someone might have to ring FDC Construction in Canberra and say Tim Dreverman's sick for the week. I don't know if I want to leave watching these first 3 horses jump. Deprice, very talented, warm blood, having won this horse, having won the Mini Prix here at this show a few years ago. Russell, very clever at producing horses. All clear at this stage. Time to beat, 67.28. He's pretty similar time to Stephen. Comes over the combination. He comes down to the final fence. Time looks good. Come on, Russell, new leader in the competition. 62.87. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and all clear. Next out into the arena, we welcome Kate Hinchen. She rides Finch Farm Cadell, owned by the Douglas family, formerly owned by the Gatsby family. Kate took this horse right through to Grand Prix level, bred by David Finch, Finch Farm Cadell. And Kate has had great success. First met Kate when she was a junior rider at the Brisbane Ekka. She came to us from Mackay in far north Queensland. Since then, we've watched her develop to be one of our leading up-and-coming Grand Prix riders. Certainly shows experience well beyond her age. She's very fortunate. She's a full-time rider at Chatham Park. She trains with one of Australia's premier coaches in George Sanna. Between Amber, Kate and Amelia, they have one of the most formidable teams of show jumpers. Time to beat, 62.87 to take the lead. Stephen Dingwall sitting in second place on 67.28. Comes down to the final fence, safely on the last. .60. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, just fractionally slower than Stephen Dingwall, 67.28, so that'll put her into third place, 67.60, and clear into third place. So we now welcome out the next one of the second member of the Chatham Park team. This is Amber Fuller. She rides CP Arantino. Catalogue number 95 in those of you playing along with your catalogue at home. Owned by Mount Australia Investments Proprietary Limited, the Douglas families. CP Arantino, the current Australian show jumping champion. In Amber, she comes into this show totally on song. The winner, the first of the World Cup qualifiers in well over 12 months, with COVID shutting down all sport. We didn't get our 2020 season, but just 2 weeks ago, down at Werribee, at the horse park there, just down the outskirts of Melbourne, we had the first World Cup qualifier, and this lady won that boy, that's unlucky. So she'll get to 6 seconds added to the clock. Six seconds added for the rebuild. Plus now she'll have to jump A before B. So the fence rebuilt, the bell sounds, and now she must commence from that. The time starts when the front feet leave the ground. Problem the second time, so 6 seconds, 4 penalties. Three fences left to go. Just carrying the 4 jumping penalties. I'd say she's going to exceed the time allowed. Yep, she's done that already. Time allowed is 74 seconds. They've got to travel at 375 metres per minute, or 27 k's an hour. Safely over the last, 87.15. 4 jumping penalties. 4 time penalties, a total of 8. Four jumping, 4 time, a total of 8 for Amber Fuller and CP Arantino. Now added to the arena, we welcome Isabella Stone. She rides Lincoln MVNZ. Isabel, just 24 years of age, studying a Bachelor of Law at university. She also runs Sutton Overture down there at Sutton, just outside the nation's capital. Sutton Overture, a professional training and education centre for show jumpers, both horses and riders. Good team of riders that sit in her team. And Isabel rides Lincoln MVNZ. Lincoln MVNZ, an imported warm blood stallion, top 10 finisher at the World Cup qualifier, down the dressage jumping with the stars. Trains with Tom McDermott, did the same turn as him, came inside that light pole. You'll see these riders just trying to shave the course to make it as tight as they can. Horses can't jump 1.45 metre fence at a flat gallop. You'll see these horses really sit back on their hind legs before that jump to take off. So then the rider needs to be smart. Ride a shorter distance. For every metre you save about 0.4 of a second. You can save 10 metres, you've saved half a second. Comes down to the final fence. Hey, that's our fourth clear round. 64.82. 64.82 and clear. That'll put her into second place. Russell Johnson holds on to the lead. Stephen Dingwall now into third. And Kate Hinchen now into fourth. As we welcome out now, John and Kerry Winning's nomination, Yandu Oaks Consolation, ridden by Jamie Kermond, the father of Hudson, and the wife to Jamie, Winning Kermond, and Jamie expecting their second child in May of this year. And Kermond, 3-time World Equestrian Games Australian representative at Aachen, at Normandy, and at Tryon. And at Tryon, he was part of Australia's best team effort at a World Equestrian Games. He, Billy Raymond, Scott Keach, and Rowan Willis qualified Australia for the Tokyo Olympics. Napa, as he's known around the stables, bred by Oak Sport horses, sired by ASB Conquistador. Has been a very successful horse for Jamie. Kermond, he'll know that there are 6 days of jumping through till next Sunday, 7 days in fact, for these horses. He'll be effective, he'll be efficient. He never looks like he's going that fast, but keep an eye on the clock. He's right on target, 62.87. Comes down to the final fence, Jamie Kermond. Time's going to be good. 64.04 into second place. 64.04 and into second. We are in for a treat this week of show jumping. If you can come back another day, please join us. Have a look in your program and see when the Section 1 classes are on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clear rounds now. Stephen Dingwall was the first of those. He's now sitting in 4th. Kate Hinchen in 5th. Russell Johnson, the one to beat. Lincoln MVNZ in 3rd. And Kermond sitting in 2nd. Aaron Hadlow now. He rides the Valen Vader. Catalogue number 64. Those of you playing along in your program. It's great to see John up here a little bit earlier today. My good friend. Popped his head in to say g'day. This horse owned and ridden by Aaron Hadlow. Valen Vader won the World Cup Series a few years ago. Aaron had the privilege of going to accept his medallion, the World Cup final. If you do win the World Cup Series in Australia, you then get invited to take your horse to the World Cup final. I'm just carrying the 2 rails at this stage, 8 penalties. So, rolls around the corner. Of course, we are jumping this afternoon for this very special trophy. This is the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy. Perpetual Cup for the owner of the winning horse. Safely over the last. This is a long-standing award, the Bob Chittick. We'll talk about that in a moment. Stops the clock in a time of 73.86, 73.86. 8 jumping penalties, no time, a total of 8. As we now welcome out Amanda Madigan. And Amanda is riding Helen Chugg's nomination of Diamond B Vivian, catalogue number 43 in your book. Owned by Diamond B Farm, ridden by Amanda Madigan. Diamond B Farm is Helen Chugg's property, elite sport horse breeders and producers. They stand a number of sires or stallions at stud and have a beautiful pool of mares. The Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Cup is a silver-plated twin-handled lidded, engraved with a rider raised on a heavy circular timber base. And Mr. Bob Chittick came from the well-known South Coast family who were very prominent in the horse world. Bob was an excellent rider of both hacks and jumpers, and at one time he held the Australian high jump record. He looked after the field show horses for many years. And on his passing, the late T.A. Field, Mr. R.A. Field, presented the cup in his memory. First awarded in 1957. It has been won. I could just read all these names. Diamond B Farm won it in 2012. Tom McDermott has won it in 2013, 2014, 18 and 19. Carrying the 4 jumping penalties, Diamond B Farms, Diamond B Vivian, Amanda Madigan comes down to the final fence. Safely on the last, stops the clock, 67.83. 67.83 and 4. Next out into the arena, we welcome Gabrielle Chugg, and she is riding Sierra Casiago. Second place getter down at the Dressage Jumping with the Stars World Cup. Probably the only real major class that we could use as a proper test before the riders came here to the Sydney Royal Easter Show, although jumping, once the restrictions started to lift, many of our groups got together. They started to run some smaller shows to keep their horses fit and healthy, and also keep themselves with a job to do. Gabby comes to us with her and her husband, run Chuggy Equestrian, Chris Chugg. In fact, I was just looking at this. Chris Chugg won it with Alondra in 2008. I also saw he won it in 1999 with Will. Already seen his name. With the rail down at the second fence, we know she can't take the lead. So we always use penalties before time in a show jumping in a Table A competition. On down to fence number 8. Just carrying the 4 jumping penalties, sets up safely on the last to the final fence. No problem there. Stops the clock, 65.33, 65.33 and 4 for Sierra Casiago and Gabby Chugg. 2 horses and riders left to go. Rider number 104, number 12 in the draw. This is Billy Raymond and Tess Cook's nomination of Anton. According to the catalogue, owned and ridden by Billy. And Michelle and Tim Clark from South Australia had a huge involvement with this horse for a number of years. This horse, we were looking back through some results from when I first started commentating here at the Sydney Royal. And this is one of the few horses that was competing at Grand Prix level in 2015 that is still here 6 years later. He and Billy have won many classes. Anton, he can be quirky, but he has one of the best in the business, formerly from Karoi, southeast Queensland. Now these days based with his fiancée at Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. Billy Raymond, next of our riders out into the arena. Nicely through the combination. 62.87. It's a time to beat, but a rail down. So at this stage, Russell Johnson's our leader. Jamie Kermond sitting in second. Isabella Stone in third. Stephen Dingwall in fourth. And Kate Hinchen currently sitting in fifth place. Rail down at the last, 16 jumping, one time, a total of 17. Final horse out into the arena. This is Tom McDermott, riding Elegance de la Chamille. He's got the quickest time on the board, a 59.48. He was our first horse out. But he, 59.48. Can he do this round and be clear? So the bell sounds. Tom has 45 seconds in which to commence his round. The countdown clock starts. If you look up into the Sydney Royal stand, you'll see there's a glass window closest to the members stand with a clock in it. That's where we get the time from. So final horse to go, Tom McDermott, Elegance de la Chamille. Time to beat, 62.87. Nicely through the combination. Tom, super efficient. Tom, Jenny and Greg McDermott own this horse. Tom recently became an uncle when his sister had their first child. And of course, Tom, the main man at Fernhill Equestrian, show jumping and thoroughbred stable, based out there at Mulgoa, the beautiful Fernhill estate. 2 fences left to go though, don't worry about that. Comes down to the final fence, he's all clear, safely at the last. There's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. Tom McDermott, 61.58, 61.58. He scrapes in there by just over 1.3 seconds. Hey, Sydney, put your hands together one more time for Tom McDermott, Elegance de la Chamille. 61.58 and clear. We'll have the official results and presentation shortly here in the main arena. Well, the official results come in. Congratulations, Tom McDermott, Elegance de la Chamille. Second place to Russell Johnson and Dupreece. Third place to Yandu Oaks Constellation. Fourth place to Lincoln MVNZ. And fifth place, Stephen Dingwall, Cavalier Duraway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we ask our judge, Mr. Tim Danzy, to make the presentation of the first of our Group 1 competitions here, the Part 1 competition. Well done to our winner, Tom McDermott, Elegance de la Chamille, taking out first place, 61.58, the time taken. All clear in the first and only round of competition. 6 clear rounds here today, ladies and gentlemen. Group A, Section 1 is going to be a superb week of show jumping. Second place, congratulations to Mr. Russell Johnson, right in the McCann family's Dupree, 62.87. Third place, congratulations to Jamie Kermond, Yandu Oaks Constellation in third place. Fourth place, going to Isabella Stone and that lovely stallion, Lincoln MVNZ. And fifth place, going to Stephen Dingwall and Cavalier Duraway. Sorry, Linz. It goes to Tom. I'll just get you to read about the trophy in a second and then we'll do the fanfare. It's Elegance de la Chamille, yep. Okay, thank you. Well, while we make that presentation, Lindsay Douglas, we have a very special trophy that we're going to be awarding here this afternoon as well.
Yes, Tim Dreverman, it is the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Cup. It has been presented here since 1957, and Bob Chittick came from the well-known South Coast family who are very prominent in the horse world. Bob was an excellent rider of both hacks and jumpers, and at one time he actually held the Australian high jump record. He looked after the field of show horses for many years, and upon his death, the late T.A. Field and Mr. R.A. Field began presenting this cup in his memory. It was originally awarded to the owner of the winning show jumping horse in the Puissance jumping contest, but these days it is presented to the winning horse in this class, 856. Well, we'll see the presentation of medallions here, the medal for the rider of the winning horse in the class, and they will be presented on behalf of the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales by our Chief Steward of Show Jumping out here, Mr. Brett Davey.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Chittick, in fact, is going to come in. Sorry, Lindsay, I gave you the wrong information there. To present the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy, medallion and sash to the winning owner and rider of this competition. This class dates back to 1957. And this horse here, I do believe, Elegance de la Chamille and Tom McDermott, Lindsay, have won it previously.
Yes, that is absolutely the case. Back at the last Sydney Royal Easter Show, presented to de la Chamille, and previous winners over the years to some rather notable horses. In fact, the McDermotts were successful the prior year with Diamond, and Yandu Oaks Constellation took out this magnificent trophy in 2017. Clem Smith and Guru in 2016, Billy Raymond and Anton the prior year, and the McDermotts, would you believe it, all the way back into 2014 again, that time with Statford Delight.
Well, I'm down here now, Lindsay Douglas with Tom McDermott. Hey, Tom, how darn good is it being back jumping in front of a crowd again?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. No, it's good to be back here again. We had like a year's break last year, but I think, yeah, on behalf of all of us jumpers, we're all pretty happy to be here. The grounds are amazing, and Watsy's done a great job building last week and already today this week. And yeah, my mare jumped super, so hopefully in for a good week.
Tough competition, my friend. It's not going to be easy when you look at this lineup, the wealth of experience. You're going to have to hold nothing back over the week.
Yeah, no, there's not all that many horses in it, but they're all very quality horses and performed horses and riders. So it's going to be a tough week and a very big week.
Well, I think Kermo was trying to get you vetted out for the week. I don't think we can make him go home just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send them on a lap around the arena. The Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy for 2021. Run one, said and done. Tom McDermott won it in 2019. He wins it again in 2021. And keep the applause going for Russell Johnson, Jamie Kermond, Isabella Stone and Stephen Dingwall. Hey, what a lovely gesture that was too. Jamie Kermond trotting along, sees some little kids on the grandstand, hands his ribbon over and says, take a memento home from the Sydney Royal Easter Show. What an amazing class. Hey, Lindsay Douglas, it has been a great day of competition. You guys have still got so much to come here this afternoon with so much action.
We absolutely do. Tonight's a really special night. It's the first night of the Sydney Royal Easter Show tent pegging competition. We have a team out here from Maitland, another from the Hunter Valley, Northeast Victoria. Ones to watch. They've travelled a long way and they're serious about their competition. The Australian Light Horse team and the Tamworth team as well. We look forward to bringing you all the action out here at the Giant Stadium, and we look forward to seeing a bit of tent pegging, which a lot of people haven't seen in the past if you're not from a rural town.
It's certainly a great event. Keep your eye on the team from Tamworth. They won it in 2018 and 2019, so they're going to be the team to beat. But hey, Linz, I've sadly got to go back to work, so I'm going to say goodbye to you, goodbye to Jake. Thank you all so much for having me at Sydney. I'll be back here next Saturday, but until then, enjoy your time at the show and keep me up to date. I'm going to be having withdrawals.
Safe travels. And we look forward to having the wonderful Tim Dreverman, who is just the voice of show jumping out here and so much more. He's synonymous with the winner's circle and bringing you all of the stories from our champions and our blue ribbon recipients at the Sydney Royal. So we look forward to having Tim back in 5 days' time.